Hey guys, this is Kim Beatles here, and I'm one of the lead developers for the Aether mod of Minecraft. This is just a short preview video that's going to show you the Altar, which is a new tile entity that is replacing the old enchanter from the original Aether mod. We decided to do this for a variety of reasons. One, the original enchanter from the Aether was basically just a furnace rehash. It was just a furnace, but you used different items, which is Ambrosium shards, and of course all the Aether items. And on top of that, we felt that using an interface and a GUI with these type of blocks just took away the immersion from the game, and it wasn't as interactive as we would have hoped it to be. So we've tried to basically make a block that can be used strictly just with your player still in the world. It's not opening an interface, it's interacting with the block. So that's basically what we're trying to do with the design of these tile entities. So I'll just get straight into it. One thing that I should mention is that for this altar, it's not completely done, only the interaction system and the animations for it are done. We actually are going to completely phase out the enchanting side of it, and we're going to use a new system, which is going to be, of course, the altar, which will use scrolls, and these scrolls will have bonus stats that you can apply to items through the use of Ambrosium shards as fuel. Also, some of these scrolls will have different things, like you can cast spells or summon minions, so that's something to look forward to in the future. But for now, I'm just going to show you basically just how this altar works. If you look at the altar, and if I right click on it, nothing happens. There's no interface, nothing opens up, so it is purely just a block that uses interaction. It doesn't have any sort of GUI integrated into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is right click it with the Ambrosium shard. And you can see these corners, the animation as shows them starting to spin, and this Ambrosium shard will actually basically spin in an orbit around the scroll in the middle. So as you can see, this scroll part of the model here, in the future you actually will only see that once you place a scroll, but for now it just works as an enchanter, because as I said, we're just basically making it for the interaction system, and on top of that the animation. And then once we've fine-tuned those parts of the altar, we're going to work on the actual altar system. If you look at this, I add another one, and you'll see that both the corners and the Ambrosium shards will start orbiting faster. And the more I add, the less distance there is between each Ambrosium shard to make room for the orbit. So I'm going to add 5 of them. And as you can see, I can just keep adding more and more and more, and they get really fast once you add heaps. If I want to actually take away this stack, like let's say I actually want to get my Ambrosium shards back, it's really as simple as right-clicking, and they'll come out. So you don't have to right-click into it, get it into your inventory, that kind of thing. You just have to right-click it and it'll pop out. This is both interactive and, in my opinion, more useful than going onto an interface and then interacting with that interface. You can just interact with this block directly. I'm just going to turn the weather to clear, because otherwise you'll see the cockatrices start to spawn around. I'll actually get rid of this sheep. Sorry, sheep. Okay, anyway. I'm also going to add one of the golden dart shooters, because they can actually be enchanted with the original enchanter system. So as you can see, as soon as I add that, it will start floating up and down. So the whole system of pulling the item stack back to the player or popping it out of the altar, it works in a tier system. So the first thing that has priority would be the Ambrosium shard. So if I right click on it, it will actually pop it out. If I right click on it again, the item will pop out. I can add them basically at any time. It's just that the altar uses a requirement to actually enchant the item. So for this particular item, it's placeholder, but just for testing purposes, I've made it that it requires 6 Ambrosium shards. So 4, 5, 6. And there you go. You got the enchanted dart shooter right there. Stacks of projectiles, like golden darts, they work extremely similar. The only difference is that you don't, unlike the Ambrosium shards, you don't have to add them one at a time. You can just right click and it will add. Since the altar has a stack size limit, which we've decided to add, it basically only adds 16 at a time, and you can't add any more than that. So let's say I try to add more golden darts, altar is at full capacity. This is just for balancing purposes, because if you could enchant 40 or 64 golden darts all at once, that would be just way too overpowered, and especially in the future when we add scrolls that give you bonus stats and that kind of thing. But if I add another 6 Ambrosium shards, there you go, 16 enchanted darts. So that's pretty much the entire system completely done. Of course, we still have to do the actual altar part of it, not just the interaction and the animations. But it's looking pretty good. We're going to add a few more things to the animations. For example, like we might make it that you can just throw Ambrosium shards on it and they will shrink to the size of the normal entities that float above it. On top of that, we're probably going to have an animation for it actually combining all the Ambrosium shards and enchanting the item, that kind of thing. But this is just an early look at it. We thought it would be cool to show you guys, since you've been waiting really patiently, and we are very sorry that it's taking a long time. But we're just trying to do the best we can to not only update the mod, but also basically refine systems that are just way too broken at this point in time. Because if you think about it, the enchanter of the original mod was just so bland and boring in comparison to the enchanting table, for example, from the original game. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's not such a big video and it doesn't show as much as the last one, but it's definitely something that you'll probably enjoy. Just feel that. Yeah, I'm sure many people enjoy seeing that. Anyway, I don't think there's any point in extending this video any longer, so I guess I'll see you guys later. Actually, one thing I'll show you first is just basically some of the, basically all the blocks that we've updated. I mean, everything here is completely updated. All the blocks so far work completely fine. Most of these work except for the Valkyrie tools, which we're working on. Pretty much all of these work except for the Cloud Staff. As you can see, the Hammer of Notch works. We're still working on accessories and that kind of stuff, but the algorithms and all that are actually still like implemented in 1.2.5. We just have to re-implement the system for what's it called, survival, so that you know, you can actually add the accessories into the extra slots. So as soon as we get that done, basically all the accessories are already done. We just have to apply some changes so it works for multiplayer. But that's really all I can show you for now. A lot of things are working. As you can see, there are a few bugs, but it's getting pretty close. I can't release some sort of release date yet, but it's getting pretty close. So yeah, it's a good time to end the video.